not expecting to win this ever. Yes! Finally! God motherfucking damn, this was a hard one. Whee-hoo! Yes! Motherfucker! This one was absolutely mental. Holy fucking hell. It's unreal almost. It's literally unreal. Fuck me, man. It's now the weekend. I started at... by the way, welcome to another episode in the deep playthrough of PGR4. I really have to catch my mind, so to say, catch my thoughts. Because I was totally in another world, so to say. I started at around 10, it's now 3, so you would say, or maybe 11, so that's 4 hours. But let me quickly see how long this took me, because this really was absolutely mental. I had to discard earlier attempts, all the failed attempts, but I did make a note approximately how long it was. One moment. So that was 15 hours in and 500 plus tries. And now let's just select all the files in this recording folder. We do Control A. We remove the 2 text files. We do Properties. Then we have 326 gigabytes of data of MP4 recording, and we have 17 and a half hours. So yeah, let's basically plus the 15 hours that I already had. And sometimes I took a break and I forgot to turn off the recording. So, but still, it is around the 30-hour mark. And how many files are these? 257 files, but there are also, it's not that after each retry I started a new recording. There are also a lot of longer files in there with multiple restarts. So if you have 257 files, I think that will also be 500 attempts or so. So I would say 30 hours, actually a bit more. I'm gonna note it down. I do 30 plus hours and 1,000 plus attempts. That is pretty damn mental. I've been on the comment of Strippers Gaming, who also did it, and there are quite some hard challenges in this game, and sometimes it helps for motivation just to see other people succeed. Although, strictly speaking, I do consider it a bit cheating. I really would prefer to do it totally blindly myself. But yeah, this took such a long time. I really needed some motivation, and it actually helped, because there was one corner where I was lifting off. In the fast section at the back, you have like a left-hander, a sweeping, and then a right-hander. That right-hander that you take very high speed, I always lift it off, but you don't need to lift off there. You can just go full throttle. So thanks to Strippers Gaming for that little insight. But anyways, he said that, or he was also like, this is one of the hardest events or even the hardest event in the whole PGR series. And he freaking did it in 3. He was already annoyed doing it in 3 hours and 15 minutes. I am doing it in 32 and a half hours. So 10 times slower. But fuck me damn. I am really happy that I managed to do it. Perseverance wins the day, so to say. But at the same time, I'm also a bit anxious, because I think we have one event in between, and then we have another Nurburgring challenge in reverse. The weather is better, but if I have to believe Strippers Gaming, he did just as long on the second event on the Nurburgring than the first one. So yeah, it could be that I'm again a full week nights after work and in the weekend at it. I hope not, but let's worry about that later. Let's quickly watch the replay because motherfucking damn, it's a bit surreal for me because I really did nothing else and I really was planning on doing nothing else until I got this win. So I'm really happy this win is finally in the books. Let's do what camera shall we do? Yeah, I do one just for myself. I'm just curious how it went to see the speeds and the overtake points. So I will do the helmet cam. Where's the helmet cam? Here we go. Start really was not that good. I block on the straight and I had attempts and that's also what cost me like 10 hours. At the start I was only focusing on blocking the Koenigsegg over there and then the, what's the other car? The CC or what's that car in front? The Arrow something? Wait, I will quickly Google that. It's the Koenigsegg and the blah 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 Arrow. So we do Arrow Supercar SSC. Yeah, I was thinking CCX Arrow, but it's actually the Koenigsegg CCX and it is the SSC Ultimate Arrow. What the hell is then the company name of that? That's such a weird name. SSC, oh alright, so that's a company apparently. Let's see what it stands for. Shelby Supercars Inc. Alright, anywho, I've really spent way too long trying to block them at the start because those are really, together with the McLaren, the 3 fastest cars. That's the real challenge. Of course, when you start out, every car is a challenge. It's really difficult to get to know the braking points. You really have to be super focused. It can go wrong in a second or in a microsecond. But doing that, it was very easy to just get rammed from behind by them because they couldn't brake anymore when you blocked them because they were approaching with too high speeds. Basically, I swerved in front of them too late. And so I had countless retries with that, trying out that strategy, but also doing that totally does not let you learn the rest of the track, and the rest of the track is just as important as the start, of course. So what I think 10 hours ago or so, or maybe 5 hours ago found, is even if the start is not the best, because sometimes I had really good blocking, that basically I was in seconds already while we are here. I basically blocked everybody. That happened only one or twice. But other times I really, the blocking went much better, although this also goes pretty well. The McLaren is to the right after the right corner there, so I'm pretty close to the leader here. So this is not the worst start, but long story short, I've had better starts, but what I've found, and that's also my tip, just continue, because you need to learn the whole track, and there are also some there are some points which I will point out where the AI is simply, or the cars, they are simply a bit slower than the bike. There are a lot of places where they're faster. Basically the straights and the top speed is much higher of the cars. But yeah, of course, just especially when you start out, try to just run the full course. That is way more of an evenly spread training than what I did, which was doing 500 retries at the start and never learning the mid part and the end part of the track. Anyways, a long rambling. Here we go. Through this section you can swerve it if it goes well, and you can really catch up, if not overtake some opponents in here. Totally screwed this up. Full throttle. Tricky corner at the top of the hill, lift off for a second or so, steer in, and then gradually get on the throttle. Also fell off the bike often here when there was a car in front. I in general, not only in this game, I really hate this corner in the Nurburgring. It's a very important corner because it's super high speed, so if you overbrake, you really, relatively speaking, lose a lot of time. But it's so easy to mess this one up because it are basically two corners connected. It's like a faint right-hander, then a mini straight, like, I don't know, 20-30 meters, 100 feet or so. And then another right-hander. And also in Gran Turismo, I hate this corner. Here, lift off and on the throttle. And this is all full throttle. No braking here, full throttle. And just as the curbing on the left ends, you start to brake. Holy shit, I thought I was not even aware. I was so focused on, and that's a good thing, on what's up ahead instead of worrying too much what is behind you. So I really didn't pay attention, but I now see in the rear view mirror that there's a car on the grass there. That's really nice. So that is really maybe what helped me out. Because this is a pretty damn quick car, and otherwise he could have taken me on the straight after this right-hander here. So I'm not sure what happened there. Shall we quickly see? Yes. So we do maybe. Yeah, this is annoying. Now we have to scroll through all the cars. Alright, this one, and then we go back a bit. And here we go. Oh, wrong button. Hello. Very nice. They can just as well bump you off, actually. Alright, really happy that he didn't bump me off there. Man, that rough concept car is so damn ugly, I find. Alright, here we go. And what camera did we have? We had the head cam. This is all full throttle, obviously. Try to keep I'm not doing it that great now, but try to keep the bike in as straight a line as possible, because these corners, you can hardly call them corners, the road is flowing a bit, but there is actually basically a straight line through those left and right kinks, so to say. So you don't need to steer that much. Just stay in the middle and try to carve through those left and right winding sections. Over here it's also a corner that you would not expect, but you only need to lift off a bit. In other racing games, you really have to brake for this one more. But in this game not. You lift off briefly, then you can very briefly tap the accelerator, maybe to stabilize the bike a bit. But then immediately start braking here, back to thirds. Right, keep it in fourth and seconds. This is just a little bit lifting off and trying to get as sharp and as clean as possible through this S section. Easy to mess it up. Full throttle. And we're now entering the section where we can gain on the AI. Starting with this corner, once you see the curbing to the left, start to lift off and just or maybe a bit later. Here, lift off, don't brake, and apply as possible accelerator mid corner. And you see we are gaining, but really soon start to brake again, because this corner is tricky. It's treacherous. It's tighter than you expect. Start braking approximately here, and this corner is also longer than you expect, so don't think, oh, this should be the apex, let's blast out of it. No, then you will go wide and hit the barrier. You really have to be patient through this corner, but this is also a corner where the AI is not the quickest. Here, wait, here you go. It's very easy to go wide here into that curb to the left and to the barrier. Basically, if you go on this bike off track, in this race, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's really easy to unsettle the bike. So you really have to focus on keeping it on the tarmac. Lift off, I'm not sure. Sometimes I very briefly tap the brake if I think I'm going a little bit too fast to just stabilize the bike. Left, and then over here. You really have to also take risks, because the AI is so quick. It's not like you can all do it very conservatively and very safe. No, you have to take the risk of failing, otherwise at least. So also be a bit aggressive through these corners. The left-hander lift off, switch direction of the into the right-hander, and then aggressively hit power. And then over here, probably brake a bit, lift off, and get on the power as soon as possible. It are basically three, not very sharp, but three right-handers in succession with a little mini straight in between, like only 10-20 meters. But so it doesn't really look that difficult, but it's a very high speed one, and you don't want to overbrake here, because then you, relatively speaking, you don't want to go too slow here, because you lose a lot of speed compared to the vehicles that go maxed out through here. So it's very delicate to take it the full pull, so to say. Easy to screw up, but you again have to take some risk, get on the throttle as soon as possible. And this is where Stribbers Gaming got the McLaren. I didn't manage to, but somehow I still cannot believe it. It worked out eventually after all. Hard braking here. This is also indeed a point where the AI is not the quickest. This is a point where you can, if you do it better than I did here, where you can overtake them over here. Which is actually much better than how I did it, because then in the straight section and some other corners here, you can increase a lead. The AI is just not too quick through this middle section. And that the last section is quite tricky to, also because you don't see it as often as the first part of the track, because you often fail before you get to that section and then you have to restart. So you literally see that section often, so the last part, less time to practice it. But so it's very good to build up a little bit of a lead before you end the final part of the track. So if possible, but of course it's not an option, so to say. You also just have to be a bit lucky. But yeah, if you're lucky, try to. Or maybe it's not luck; it's also skill. This is really not that much of a luck-based event. That's what I really like. It's not as RNG as other events where you can just be bumped off the road counters of time outside of your own control. But yeah, anyways, it would be good if you overtake him here instead of what I did much later, because much later it's very easy to mess it up in the final part. And maybe you find the final part of the track more easy, but I find the final part a little bit hard. The cars were quicker compared to me, as opposed to this middle section where the bike is a bit quicker in many corners than the cars. So yeah, try to overtake, get in first place as soon as possible. So you have a bit of a buffer for that tricky last part. Anyways, braking, back to second. Very slow, also be patient here. I don't take this one well at all, I go wide. Really, I'm not doing it that well. And also over here, the AI is not that quick. Start braking here, but maybe to third gear, and once you hit the apex, accelerate aggressively out of the corner. Yeah, it's really weird. There's a bug in the game, which is super annoying, where the sound is just messed up. The refs are not in sync anymore. Maybe it's the emulator, I don't know, but I think we have to restart the replay, because I had this before and there was nothing much I could do. Let's see if it now works. I don't know what to do to make the replay work again. It's super annoying. Now it works again. Alright, where were we? No, I'm not actually. I wanted to say bumped that I didn't overtake him here, but that doesn't make any sense. I won the race anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Here we go. So, slow through here. I messed it up. Aggressive through here. Yeah, again, the sound is just totally messed up. That's really a bummer, because I wanted to do a tips and tricks. So what I will do is again eject. Then we do watch replay. We do save replay. We do 32.5 hours, 1000 plus attempt. Bike at Noordslijven. Alright, let's see if we just go to the change chapter. No. Anyways, let's see if we load it up, whether it works again. Where the hell can you see replays here? Man, I'm so elated, or whatever the word is, that we got this one. Aggressive through here. Also through here. Really try to get a good action over there. Over here at the left-hander that we just came through, the end of the curbing to the left and the start of the curbing to the right. So basically in the middle of the straight, start to brake and go back to thirds. Lift through the corner and get on the, gradually open it up. Try to clip the apex to the inside, the right side. The cars are quite slow exiting, and it's a very important corner because there's a super long straight afterwards. So again, a corner, just like, by the way, the two corners before this where I said to aggressively exit them and take a bit of risk. The cars are just in this whole section. Yes, on the straights and the accelerator, they're quite quick, but in the corners they're not as fast as in other parts of the track, at least in my experience. So, lift through and get on the power. I really didn't do it that well. I should have kept it in third. This is really not that good of a run, but somehow it was good enough. I'm so happy with that. Alright, everything full throttle. Over here in between, again, the ending of the left curb that we just passed and the start of the left curb, upcoming left curbing. So basically again in the middle of this little straight section, start to lift off. Strippers Gaming I think lifted off way later at the curb, the upcoming curb. I'm not sure, I cannot do it like that. Or basically you see to the right, you see a little of a runoff section, a brownish runoff section. Maybe over there start to lift. Here, lift. Again a little bit later even, but start to lift. These are two very fast left-hand corners with a mini straight in between. This is really also, try to keep it at 160 miles. This is where you gain on the AI as well. Lift and you can much earlier than you expect get on the power. So really it is lifting off, steering in, and already very briefly after that, like a second or maybe even less, start to gradually open up the throttle again. And you also have this little brownish runoff section to the right. So the track is actually, which does provide grip. So the track is a bit wider also than you would expect. and really get on the power as soon as possible. You see, we are gaining, and this is a corner where what I mentioned at the start, where I initially, maybe also as a reaction to the first high-speed left-hander where you had to lift off, I instinctively also lift off here for a long time until I saw that Stribber's gaming run, and I noticed like, hey, I don't think he's lifting off here. You don't need to lift off here, and this is a critical one because you really can gain quickly a lot on the AI because they do lift off. You see the backfire of the exhaust of the McLaren in front. That means I think that they're shifting, so they're probably shifting. Hey, you can actually move the camera. That means they are shifting down here, and we will not be doing that. We will just continue full throttle through this one, and catching up. And the steering point. Here on the throttle, very early on the throttle here. And then once you hit that little hill, the top of the hill, start to steer in, anticipate, do an early steer in, because of course it's a bike. You also have to, they run in arcs, so to say. It just controls a bit different than cars. You really have to anticipate certain corners more than in a car. But yeah, start to steer in here a little bit. It's really not that sharp of a corner, but you can keep it. You can take it full throttle, and you see how incredibly much we gain now. That's amazing. And then once the curb hits on the left, once it starts, that's where you brake, depending a bit on how fast you're hitting the corner here. But brake hard, back to seconds or thirds. I'm not sure. I was actually in first even. Very tight corner, but yeah, get all the speed out of the car and try to accelerate out as early as possible. And then my nemesis or what the corner I dislike most in this game is the carousel. I have no idea how to take it well. It feels very slow. If you go wide, it's annoying. If you go on the grass on the inside accidentally, you will basically crash out. Don't forget that if you brake before it and then you enter it, and you have to modulate the throttle a bit and not to go wide, because if you go wide, your exit will be totally screwed up and you will lose a lot of time. But don't forget what I thought of way too late, is that once you have the feeling that you're actually going too fast, it's not only a matter of keeping to lift off and hope that the speed gradually diminishes by itself, which can be quite a long time. It's really like, of course, it's only in real life 1 or 2 seconds, but when you're racing it takes forever, it feels like. You can, of course, mid-corner of the carousel, also if you feel that you're not really in the ideal line, very briefly just tap the brakes to speed up the decrease of speed. And then, yeah, nothing much I can say. I never took it right for my feeling. I really don't like to take this corner on the bike. And in the cars, by the way, if I remember correctly, it's also just a super annoying corner. Anyway, start to brake also earlier than in other games. In other games you see the right side of the track. It moves a little bit to the right and then it flows to the left and to the right again. In other games, that second right-hander flow, so where the curbing kinks to the inside a bit, that is a little bit before it. That's where you normally start to brake. But here, at least, you really want to take out all your speeds, even get back to first gear. So brake earlier. Actually, if I look at from the replay, it looks like I'm braking later than I thought I was. So where am I braking? Over here I'm braking, right. A little bit later than normal. Anyways, get your speed out. So annoying. It's very easy to go wide and then hit the curbing on the right side of that upcoming right-hander, and then you get on the grass and you lose really seconds. And that's also what makes me so glad having got it now, is I very often made those mistakes here. But then it was often that I was in third place or was like, okay, it's super annoying. But I'm really happy that in this win run, this is the second time that I'm in first. One time I was, I think, in first because the McLaren spun out. But the second time that I think genuinely on my own merit got in first. And I'm really happy that or maybe it was the third time, I don't know. But out of 1,000 times, I basically was first like 3 times. So I'm really happy that I didn't make these mistakes when it counted, when I was in first. So super stoked. This left-hander, normally you can take it full throttle, just steer in early. I lift off a little bit because I don't want to mess it up. I'm a little bit under pressure here. This is a tricky section. Get back to third, lift through this corner, and then very early change direction, lift through the other one. It's very easy to go wide into this right-hander. So lift, and then over here, brake earlier than you expect. This right-hander is sharper than the preceding 2 left-hander and right-hander, which you could take basically in third gear. This one you want to take in second gear. You really want to take out more speed. And this also really is one of the corners that I often screwed up, so I'm really happy that I didn't do it this time. Yeah, he's close. He's very close. What the hell? Why do we get a different camera? Also over here, lift off into this corner, I think in fourth. Tap the brake briefly to settle down the bike. You have to high speed change momentum and direction. So this is also very easy to screw up. Lift through it, actually get to third, and again you see I'm really totally not familiar with this section. I'm making mistakes. And over here I actually go back to second, I think. Yeah, just try to weave through it. It's just a nightmare. But over here, get back to third. These are more controllable corners. Lift off, and once you're like after the apex, you can open up here. That's a right-hander, a left-hander, and a right-hander, which are 3 very similar corners. So indeed, brake, keep it in third. Get some speed out, and then mid-corner open up the throttle. I forgot, he actually got me back. This one again, brake, lift through the corner and keep it in third and open up the throttle as soon as possible. This one as well basically. Brake, hug the inside and gradually open up the throttle. This one as well, I normally went back to second, but you can keep it in third. This one is a bit more tight, so take out a little bit more speed. And then over here, basically full throttle. Although it's easy to go wide here to mess it up. It's a bit of a bumpy, undulating section. But you can take it full throttle, maybe lift off through this left-hander a very tiny bit. But it's easy also in this left-hander to go wide. It's just, also a nightmare. Especially because if you're in first, you have the pressure. You already spent like 5 minutes on the track, or 4.5, whatever time we are at now. And so also the consequences of failing are just bigger than when you fail right at the start. So that pressure can also lead to maybe a bit more mistakes, at least on my part. But yeah, you can take this quite quickly. Over here, after the little dip, back to fourth. I actually go back to third. It's also nerves, I think. But then you lift normally in fourth, lift through this one, open up the throttle, and then again lift off, change direction, change momentum, and do the same in this right-hander. So it is basically also the earlier corners that were like those three similar ones, right, left, right, down that YouTube section. You do that in third gear. These two, this right-hander that we just did and now a left-hander, are basically a bit similar, but in fourth gear. So they're a little bit wider and a little bit faster. And then once you are here, accelerate, but maybe also lift off a bit to just settle down the bike, because there's an important section coming up. But yeah, you can get to fifth or even sixth gear already. Here, lift a bit. And this is a tricky part. It's a right-hander, left-hander, and then a right-hander. But again, just like the foxhole, where you go down where it swerves a bit, there is more or less a straight line through them. So don't fully follow this right-hander, because there will be a left-hander coming up. Don't fully follow that left-hander, because there will be a right-hander coming up. Really navigate the middle of this consecutive three corners. So only a little bit to the left, and then immediately prepare for the right-hander. And then here, full throttle. Then here, go back to fourth gear. Over here, back to third gear, also very easy. I went wide so often here, and it's so easy to screw it up. Even go back to third gear. Over here, get some speed out, not too much. It is definitely faster than the first carousel. Be mindful not to go wide. Full throttle. And then over here, also very easy to mess this one up. It's super annoying, because we're like we can almost touch the finish line. Lift through, steer in lift, maybe brake a little bit, but steer in early. I totally did not do that well. I wonder, how close did he get? Pretty damn close. But yeah, at least we didn't go wide, because that would have been fatal. God damn it, so annoying. It changes the camera. And then over here, so you lift through that corner. Steer in early, so lift, brake a bit, lift. And then it is start accelerating. It's a little bit of a straight. And then approximately, it's hard to judge. It are blind corners, but it's also an important corner. There are basically a long right-hander coming up onto the straight. And there's not really normally it's onto the straight, but the finish line is just after that corner. But still, you want to really accelerate well in that long right-hander, otherwise the cars will do it and they will overtake you. But approximately in the middle of this little straight section, start to lift off slightly, and then to settle down the car into the corner. And yeah, what I'm saying also doesn't make a lot of sense. 1 second. It is brake, lift, accelerate, and then over here lift off slightly. At least that's how I do it. And then once you are pretty primed for the corner, accelerate out of it. Like so. And that was a full run. Let's do the one more with the external view. And yeah, again, I am so happy this worked after 32.5 hours doing the same track over and over and over again for more than 1,000 times, I'm pretty sure. I didn't count them literally, but I from the amount of separate recordings, I am pretty sure it is well over 1,000. Anyways, let's do the racing cameras. Here we go. Or maybe the TV cameras. Alright, so this is the section where the cars are a little bit slower. The middle section. By the way, I was at the start of my commentary. I said like, okay, I watched Strippers gaming video, and he said it's the hardest event in the PGR series. And I'm not sure whether I finished my thought there, but what I wanted to say is, yes, it's incredibly hard, but if I have to say, is this the hardest that I've ever done in gaming? Yeah, I'm not fully sure. I also had an event in Gran Turismo where I just wanted to beat a certain time on the Nurburgring. I've had, like, in Gears of War, it's on my channel, there also was a section that was incredibly hard. Yeah, also in my Dark Souls 3 playthrough, by the way. So I'm not sure whether... The thing is, it's really weird. Normally, this game really got me worked up. I cussed a lot in other events. And I was super often quite frustrated with a bit RNG or myself just failing over and over again. But because this is such a big event, my body just said, like, it's not even... there's no use even getting worked up about this, because get used to it. This will really be down the rabbit hole you have to go to get out the other end with a win. At least for me it is. And that made it that I actually found it quite enjoyable. Yeah, it was frustrating, but I didn't feel the frustration. I was numb. I didn't have any feeling, so to say. So that maybe it certainly is up there with one of the hardest events that I ever had to do. But frustration-wise, not so much. So it's really weird. But I did, like, freaking, probably even longer, but 30-ish, 35-ish. Over and over the same race, and still it doesn't really feel that long. Of course, I spread it out over a couple of days. Anyways, I'm rambling, but yeah, is this the hardest event ever in PGR4 even? Yeah, there were also other events. Yeah, they didn't take me 30 hours. So if you go just by time, yes, there was one event that took me 8 hours, one event that took me 5 hours. Earlier in the playthrough, you can really look them up in the description. I mentioned it, but yeah. So actually, it is the hardest in the game for sure, going by the amount of time that it took me. Anyways, a lot of rambling. Here we go. So happy that I didn't screw up the carousel in this one. Would have been so easy, and also it would have been so easy. The McLaren is actually well behaved. If the SSX Aero would have been behind me, I'm sure he would have bumped me off there. And also, if you have contact with cars, the chance that of course the bike is much more vulnerable. So in car against car, you can nudge each other a bit and be yeah, do a bit of bumper cars, but on a bike you're much more vulnerable. So once you do have contact, it also often acts a bit like glue, that you're stuck to the car. But yeah, then chances that you will spin out or you're full of your bike, they're so huge. So I'm really happy that the McLaren behaved himself here and that I didn't screw up this not the corkscrew, the carousel. Here we go. And this is, with earlier saying, the last part of the track that I don't feel comfortable with and made a lot of mistakes. Also simply because of the fact that you see this part of the track less, because you often fail before you restart before you even arrive here. But yeah, that last part that starts basically here, or actually in the corkscrew. The corkscrew is part of that. actually screwed up that corner as well. I went over the grass. Man, it is so easy could this have failed. This really was like razor thin margin of error, or even a negative margin of error, I would say. It's just, I still cannot believe that this worked. Fucking even, I do like it for the excitement of the race, that I even get taken. How often, every time that I got taken over back, I didn't regain the position, and now really when it counts, I did. I'm really happy with that. So often when you overtake, you bump into each other and you just fall off the bike, but it didn't happen here. Holy shit, holy shit, holy fucking shit. Really had to do a little bit balls to the walls on the inside and keep up the speed. I'm really happy that I kept the speed up, or at least a moderate amount of speed, because I failed so often there that you go too slow or you go too wide, etc. And now when it really counts, when I can really finally put to rest like 30 plus hours of retries over and over again, when it really counted, it went well. I'm so happy with that. I know I'm repeating myself, sorry for that. Holy fucking hell, that was totally mental. But I'm sure the one that's on the agenda will also not be a cakewalk, or walk in the park, however you say that in English. I will leave it at this. Next episode we will do, I think, one in between thingy. One in between stage. A breakthrough challenge. And then another Nurburgring. Fuck me. Anywho, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. And for the meantime, do not forget, always do keep on gaming, Slitter.